before your day gets busy, listen to this. There are 7 types of men you should not marry as a young lady. Marriage is good. Marriage is a will of God for you, and it is a dream of every young lady to be married. But it is better to be single than to be married to the wrong person. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed and not to be endured. But who you marry determines the kind of marriage you will have. So there are 7 types of men you should not marry as a young lady. Number 7 is the worst. First kind of man you should not marry is the man that lies. They are the definition of lies. Everything about them is a lie. Their phone is a lie, their dressing is a lie, their housing is a lie, their story is a lie, their identity is a lie. Everything about them is a lie. You cannot entrust your future in a lie. Anything established on the foundation of lies cannot last. So when you discover that you are in a relationship with a man that lies, cut it off. The second kind of man you should not marry is the violent man. Who is the violent man? The violent man is the man that can beat. The violent man is the man that can slap you. Is the man that can fight with you. A man who resolves problems by violence. Listen to me, in marriage, there must be crisis. There will be crisis. There will be misunderstandings. There will be challenges. There will be issues. But if a man responds to every issue by violence, then that man will kill you in marriage. The third kind of man you should not marry is the irresponsible man. Who is an irresponsible man? An irresponsible man is a man that depends on you for survival. He wants to marry a lady who has money. He wants to marry a lady whose family has money. He's a man who is irresponsible, so he gives excuses for his failure. He takes responsibility over nothing. He has a high level of dependency on you and on others. And he feels very entitled to the things that people have. So he is not taking any responsibility. He has no job. He has no house. He is doing nothing. Nobody is depending on him. He has no project, nothing. That's the third kind of man. The fourth kind of man is the visionless man. A man who has no vision. Never marry a man with no vision. Because if you marry a man with no vision, then you are heading to no destination. It is vision that gives direction. It's vision that keeps a man focused. It's vision that keeps a man hardworking and passionate to achieve something. When a man discovers his vision, then that man is qualified to be married. You are not permitted to marry a man without a vision, because every lady has 2 types of womb. You have the physical type of womb and the spiritual type of womb. Your physical womb is to give him children. Your spiritual womb is to birth his vision into a reality. Every man has a purpose. And if a man has not discovered his vision, he can never fulfill his purpose. So never marry a man with no vision. When you meet a man, what are his plans? He thinks only about eating. He thinks only about having time with you. He thinks only about having dress, having a good place to stay. That is a man who will take you to nowhere. Before you marry a man, ask his vision, ask his plans. What are the things that he is intending to achieve in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, in the next 50 years? By you marrying him, what kind of life has he planned for you people? Not physically, mentally. What is his plan? What are his visions? What are his objectives that he has put in place, or he is putting in place in order to accomplish this vision? The next kind of man you should not marry is the proud man. He's a proud man. A proud man is a man that does not listen to counsel. A proud man is a man that does not listen to advice. A proud man is a man that does not listen to anybody. Nobody can correct him. Nobody can advise him. Nobody can rebuke him. If you marry such a man, then you are dead. Do not marry a proud man. A proud man will never admit his fault. You are always on the wrong. Even when it is totally clear that he is wrong, he will never be willing to admit that he is wrong. You are always on the fault. He expects you to always apologize. He expects you to always take responsibility for things that go wrong in your relationship. Do not marry a proud man. It is very, very dangerous. A proud man is too full of himself, so he sees you as nothing. He does not understand your worth. He does not understand your value. He does not understand your personality. He regards you as nothing. He is too full of himself. Do not marry a proud man. The last kind of man you should not marry, the sixth kind of man you should not marry, is the man who is a cheat. It's a man who is a cheat. The man who is a cheat. Listen to me. Do not marry a man who has the character of many ladies. He feels satisfied by having 15, 12, 10, 3, 5 ladies at the same time. If you marry such a man, it is very dangerous. You will discover that in your marriage, you might die of insecurity. Do not marry a man who derives joy in having so many women. No, God made a man and a woman. A wise man will always go for one woman. If a man is having the culture of going after so many women, then it is dangerous if you are trying to build a future with him. The last kind of man you should not marry is the man that does not fear God. The man that does not fear God. It is dangerous to marry a man who does not know and does not fear God. Any man you should marry is a man that knows God, even to an extent, and the fear of God is established in his heart, because it is the fear of God that will constrain the man not to go ahead to do certain things. If he does not fear you, if he does not fear your parents, if he does not fear his family, then let him fear God. If he does not fear God, then don't go ahead. If you realize that the man you are married to does not fear God, then don't go ahead. He can use you for ritual. He can do anything at a certain point in time in life in your marriage, and you might live your entire life regretting. Don't forget, I conclude with this. A man who does not change in relationship will not change in marriage. Don't marry a man hoping that he is going to change.